TTL Computer 2. Today we'll be taking a look at a work in progress project, and this is for a native programming language for TTL Computer 2. And we're just going to get right into this, and the program is already hex loaded, and we are ready to kick this off, and we're going to run this at address 8000. And we can see that this says pilot for TTL Computer 2. So this is a language that probably nobody's heard of, but this is a language that I was aware of by name, but never did any work with in my early days. But this is a language that was developed, I think, in the late 60s, and then in the 70s became a bit popular for a while. It was kind of a competitor for the basic language, I think. Was an alternative. It was an easier alternative, but it was a specialized language that was originally developed for learning situations in schools and for unskilled computer people to develop teaching and learning lessons. That was the roots of the language. But I chose it for TTL Computer 2 because I wanted something that was a very thin language, not a lot of syntax. And that got me to investigate Pilot. And I liked that. It seemed to meet my needs, and I went forward with that. But this is an implementation of Pilot that I am doing myself for TTL Computer 2. All right, so right now we've started Pilot, and we're kind of like in a command mode here. But what we're going to do is type E to go into the editor, and we can see that our prompt is turned from a P to PE to indicate that we're in the editing mode. If we do enter with a blank line, it will just drop out of the editor and back into the command prompt. But let's go back to E, and we're gonna kind of build we'll build a little sample program now. Start to demonstrate some of the structure of the language and some of its core functionality. So we have to start out with a hello world program. So we're in the editor here, and we're going to type T. And T, we see that T followed by colon. So the T is the instruction for Pilot. And all of Pilot's instructions are just a single letter. So T is for, you can imagine, is for type. And so we have the colon, and we're just going to put in what we want the computer to type, and we say hello world. And that's our first Pilot statement. And I dropped out of the editor now. I'm back in the command prompt. Now I can press type L to list the program, and our program only has one line in it, which is hello world. So now we're going to run that by using the R command. And there we are, hello world. We coded and ran our very first Pilot program on TTL Computer 2. So again, let's look there. Let's go back to the editor now. Now the editor will automatically position us to the end of the program. So let's do something else now. So if you see before when we used the T command, that it did a new line. We can also not have it put a new line at the end of the line. So let's say T with a colon again. What is your favorite color? Now we're going to put the backslash there, and that means do not do a new line at the end of this statement. And now we're going to do another instruction, which is A, is the accept command. And let's hit enter. And so we'll see what that will do. It'll do a list. So there's our program. We have three statements now, 2 type-in statements, and we have an accept statement. So let's run this. So there's our hello world. Now we see, what is your favorite color? Now you see it stayed on the same line. And when we use the accept, the A command, it accepts keyboard input from the user. So what's my favorite color? Let's say red. All right. And that just ended our program, right? Because that's all it's doing. All right, so let's extend our program further now. So let's go back to editor. The next pilot command we're going to look at is the match command, which is M. And we want to match for the response blue. Okay. And then we're also going to do the type command again. So we say type. Now we're going to introduce a new behavior here. So rather than just the type command, we want to do a condition. We want this type statement to be conditional. So we want to make this say, we'll say yes, and I'll explain this as once we run the program, and we say that we type the response is I like blue too. Okay, and then we're going to do the type command again with another conditional, this time no. And we're just going to say, that's nice. Okay, so let's get out of that. So let's look at our program again. All right, so what did we do? So here we did, what is your favorite color? We have the except statement. Now we're doing the match statement, and we're saying we want to match on blue. So what this does is it attempts to match what the person entered with the accept command. So this says now we're going to type this line if the match statement matched. So if the match statement matched and it was yes, we will type I like blue too. This will say we will type if the match statement did not match, that's nice. Okay, so let's now run this. Here's our hello world message. What's my favorite color? Red. So that didn't match blue, so it just says that's nice. Let's run it again. This time we'll say blue. I like blue too. So that's how that works. So that's a key thing. This is really a key thing in Pilot. So Pilot is really, again, since it was originally designed to aid in learning, it's a lot of presented a lot of information to the user and gathered information from the user and wanted to compare what the response was with with correct answers to the questions. So this matching capability is very powerful. We did a very simple match here, but in a full Pilot, you could say blue, comma, red, comma, yellow, a whole series of strings that would be possible, correct responses to the prompt, to the accept. And you could do a lot of complex matching. So basically the A and the match statement are used to do all of your decision making in your program for text strings. Okay, so now let's see. Let's extend our program further. Let's go back to the edit command, and we're back to adding lines. Let's do this now. We're going to type, think of a number. And we're going to do the backslash again. And then we want to accept, right? We want to accept the number from the person. But this time we're going to do something different. So this one provided a new argument to the accept command. We want this response to be stored in a variable. And the pound n means that we want to store this in integer variable n. Okay? And then we'll do another type statement. And you picked n, and we can use our variables in our type statements. Okay? So let's look at that. And now run our updated program again. Favorite color is blue. Think of a number. How about 100? We see you picked 100. Okay, so let's extend our program further. Go back to the editor. And now we're going to do something different. We're going to enter in a label. And we just entered in the star, means that this is a label. And the name of that label is loop. and we will use that in a minute. The C command is the calculate command, and we want to calculate here. We want to take our n variable, and we want to update n to equal n minus 1. And we use the calculate statement for that. And then we are going to say now we're going to type out and say updated num equals %n. And let's get out of that. Look at our program. And we can run that now. Red. Think of a number, 25. You pick 25. And then there we see the result of the calculate statement where n was reduced by 1. Okay, so let's go back to edit again, and we're going to extend our program further. Now, so we've just put updated num to 2 on the screen. Let's do a new command now, and J is for the jump command. And we're going to do, and the jump is for jumping to a different point in the program. And now we have a special syntax here with the jump statement. And what this is saying is jump if the variable n is greater than 0 is what that means. And then there's our semicolon. And if n is greater than 0, we want to jump to loop. Okay. All right. And that's our updated program. And let's run this now. Favorite color. How about yellow this time? Favorite number. Let's do 8. And there we see now in the loop with our conditional statement, we went through that loop 8 times, right? Because we decremented n each time, and we ran through that loop 8 times. Okay, so that's a flavor for how Pilot, what that's starting to look like as a language. It's very unique. I'm going to say it's very unique, but you can also declare subroutines, and you can call subroutines, and that's also working, but we won't look at that today. But I have all the basic, a lot of the main system is up and working in Pilot. There's still a lot of work left to do. You can see here with the numbers that this is printing out these as 4 digits all the time. We don't want that to work that way. We want to be able to suppress the leading zeros on the integers. I don't have all of the math functions needed for doing the integer math, and I need to do that. And I need to also generalize the type of calculation statements that we can use. It's very simple right now with just plus and minus in a very simple format that needs to be generalized to really be usable. And then adding strings. So we have to add string variables. So we already have numeric variables. We need to add string variables, and that's not as straightforward as numeric variables, because we need to manage the string space. So there's a lot of work to do, but that's the basic structure of the system is there. I want to also extend the editor capabilities, so you can edit lines in the editor, which you really can't do right now. But anyhow, that's an introduction to Pilot and a quick view of what that looks like and where I am in the state of the development for that. But I'm kind of really viewing this more as a scripting language than a programming language. But my intent is that we will, we'll connect this to different system functions in TTL Computer 2. Like we'll be able to, load and save programs to our file system once that's going. Hook it up to random number generator. Also hook it up to be able to do screen positioning commands. So all that stuff is going to be added to to pilot. And it will be a fully functional program, and probably be able to put together some fun games with this as well in the future. But that's a look at Pilot, and I think that's it for today. Until next time, thanks for watching.